My name is Anas Shafi. My story is a little interesting because I'm 23 this year, but I have lived life where I have experience in the both East and the West. My life is very interesting, unique in a way where I actually grew up in a refugee camps in Thailand where I born. The camp is old as me now. My parents moved in when I was actually born in the camps. And then when I was 14, I come to US. Then I've been living my whole life in Buffalo's. So it's always up and downs where I still remember clearly the transformations that we went through in the camps from where we used to live with candle to a life where now it's like a city where people are very access to Wi-Fi and any other like suburbs area. But it's still a refugee camp though. I was listening to the explanation by Dr. Saad Ahmed when he was giving a huge lectures on this of identity. That's me, literally, because have you imagined yourself having on your birth certificate saying you don't belong here, you only two leaves? That was because the more you realize you're stateless, you're purposeless, your life is just driven, right? Because sometimes when I look at the TVs, people's die for just being in their patrons, right? They're so proud of their national identity while you have nothing to look back. So it's very difficult to live this sort of lives. Imagine, what is a refugee? Imagine yourself locked up in a buildings where every step you try to go, every layers of that building has a gates. You cannot work. They give you a monthly portions and food, and you got to figure out how to survive. So how do I met Nushoor? I met Nushoor. I thought it's remember he's testing on one of the. I sent a text message. Nushoor is not even ready that time. So probably some brothers, they're so happy they put it up. Then I want to understand what Nushoor is because my whole life I feel like a disabled person, which is seeing atrocity in front of me where I can't even help myself. How am I gonna help others? It will depress me a lot. It will have a lot of psychological issues for me. So then one thing I text him, I asked him a very interesting question because many of people might not. They're like, what make you different from Islamic Reliefs? What make you different from any other organization where we just work, give money, and have immediate reliefs, right? I just want to know because I myself is involved with a lots of nonprofit organizations and the fundraisings, and I know how they work. And he called me. I went him. We had a talks. Then I was like, Nushoor is what I'm looking for my whole life. If there wasn't one, I'll make it once. Because I'm very interested, especially in ecologies, how to grow foods. Because food is lifelong and it will make a civilization and it will break a civilization. So that's what made me and encouraged me to start studying permacultures. My parents, of course, being from a refugee families, wouldn't understand. My dad used to say, I could go to like grocery store and buy whatever you grow for $20 is worth than we could eat for a month, right? But they fail to see the systematic solutions to what my approach is. And I didn't blame them. They did support me, but they couldn't understand what I do, as well as many, many refugees' families. So I believe a Nushoor is much, much, much needed for the Ummah where we are approaching the Sunnah way for the problem. Where I would like to share a hadith. A Sahaba come to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and say, Ya Rasulullah, please help me out. I need assistance. Then he say, what do you have? The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said that, Ya Rasulullah, I have a cups and a blanket. He gave it to him. He said, give it to me. He went to the markets and he started auction. He's like, auction. Did anyone want to buy something? So then the Sahaba was in shock. He's like, I'm here to ask for assistance. He was expecting Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to give him like a pouch of dirham or silvers or say, Ya Sahaba, your brothers need help, man. Come on, give him. Somebody's going to give him something. He was expecting that. because that was the norm in that time too, right? Like same thing as us. So then the Sahaba, then he sell it that for a 6 silvers in the end. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam bought an X. He bought an X. He break a bridge and he attached that. He gave it to him and say, go to the forest, start chopping woods and start selling it, make livings out of this. And come back to me after 1 week. Very interesting story. The Sahaba come and they say, Ya Nabi, Ya Rasulullah, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Alhamdulillah, because you helped me out, now I'm living life. I have ability to sustain and I don't have to vex. He says something very shocked me because that's how I'm living my whole life. He said, Wallahi, I have saved you from heavens on your forehead stamped on a day of Hashr, on a day of Qiyamah, imagined as a beggar. Can you imagine in a Hashr from creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, even the jinnats before that, until the last man ever live in this earth, are going to be in one field. In your foreheads, you have a titles as a beggar, and everybody can see it. How shameful it is. That's what I see a Nushoor is. As a Nushoor, we are the X, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam bought it. And our communities are the handle. The handles, if we attach it, we want to empower the ummah through technologies, which is in our hand. And what are my projects? I'm a self-study, you could call it ecology. So I'm trying to grow mushrooms because mushroom is one of the most common foods and one of the most nutrient foods. It has proteins and it has everything. So basically one is, again, this is just a star. I have cardboard. I boil the cardboard. And you see how beautiful these myceliums are colonizing, right? And then I just got hot water. This just a leaves, nothing. Just a leaves and mushroom spawns. See, these are mushroom spawn. They didn't do pretty well because I should have probably lack of moisture. And this is a leaves where they were doing beautiful. You guys can see there's a lot of myceliums are growing. If you're a mushroom grower, you know how well these guys are doing. These are just leaves I just pick up from the street. Then I boil this very well. And this one, you can't see it. Same thing. So we do really good. And also, we are trying to test a different nutrient solution for our hydroponics product because hydroponic is whoever are in agriculture, we know they are the best solution so far we have to solve emergency problem like food security issues. So I just collected the water that I got it because they are carbon based. So I have to test them. This is a boil leaf water. This is dark because I boiled it down. This is also, and this is the one where I just had a kettle over the thing, right? And this is a cardboard. Very interesting. I know a lot of you guys might be scared. Guys, it's okay. No problem. I don't think it's toxic enough for us to poison us. But let's test it. Then I try to create a kind of some sorts of natural environment, right? For us to basically, I'm trying to grow, as you can see, if you pick this out for us, this is basically, there's 7 sweet potatoes in there. It's been a week. And then I just got a cardboard. And one tubers can produce 7 to 17 sprout out of it. And they are individual plant. And I could put more stuff in here. We are trying to, I have a 12 plant in mind. This is one of the things we come up with is basically, I know a lot of people use like bottles with like caps and stuffs, right? So what we want to do is we just get a water bottles, we cut in half, and we could have it like this, and we could have a soak in the sweet potato sap, leave it for a week, and they could be individual plant by themselves. That was the plan. And we are working on hydroponics, aquaponics. And one thing I want to show you guys very interesting is this setup. You guys can see. A lot of you guys might think what's going on here, right? So this is a little mushrooms rule build it from woods that I got in my house. It's just all are selfish. All these are selfish. So I have all these mushrooms under there, zero light, zero light. I just cover it with this. And when is mushroom is start colonizing fully, we're gonna have it here where they will need a light and like a little light. I'm gonna put a light bulb there. In a lab stage, mushrooms are very sensitive because they need a half light. The reason why I make it here is because this is a window that we can get a light. So I will have this bottles inside, and either we use a humidifier or probably have to mechanically build something where it can spray water. Our goal is grow food which are sufficient for the people with less amount of work. That was our goal, inshallah. So,
Question number 2. Where do you see Nushoor in 5 years?
inshallah, if we go the way how we're going, I myself being into, of course, growing up in now one of the most, I would say, one of the most biggest effective organization like Tablighi Jama'ah. They're in 125 countries right now, where without monies or any financials, who are kind of competing against one of the most effective missionaries, Christians missionaries in the world. If it wasn't for them, I would be somewhere else. I see if a Nushoor, the way how we're going there, inshallah, we will have impacts. We'll have a very strong, solid base because first is we have a diversity. I'm a Burmese. I speak 4 or 5 different languages. We have brothers from Egypt. We have the brother from Somalia. Because one solution we have, one solution Nushoor can make, it does not require $500,000 to be effective, and it can duplicate anywhere around the world. So we are positively very concrete based building connection from different backgrounds and then different regions of the Islamic world. And our many of the projects that we do, one solutions can fit into many other regions. So I see big future for Nushoor.
So now give some answers that are more secular sounding.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Just so we can pick and choose, different audiences. We have different.
Yeah, I'm gonna be more academics.
Okay. So go ahead. You spoke about refugees. You spoke about your experience as a refugee, and one of the main themes that I got from that was disability. And so, with your project and other project in Nushoor, but specifically your project, how do you see it giving the communities overseas abilities and becoming empowered?
So thing is, in a business, one of the most profit business in the world is export and import. And 90% of them are food, right? If you have a bread in the tables, then you think about other things, right? So a lot of our projects are very appropriate technology, especially in the refugee camps. We could use hydroponics, we could use aquaponics, we could have a different way to store and generate energy. So we're creating microeconomy for the refugees who they have the issue with the host, they have an issue with the host country that they're living in because they don't want them there. So they kind of gatekeep them in a way. I don't want to say this more like a political thing, but I would say they don't want to, especially in Bangladesh, for example, Coast Bazaar, where they won't let the Rohingyans go out to work. They have to go through like 20 gates just to go out. So gatekeep it everything. So we could create a microeconomies for the people there, and people can basically generate income within their own self, because in the end, peoples are the power.
Have you learned anything from the other teams and other projects happening at Nushoor?
100%. I learned everything at this point because I like to observe. I learned a lot of things from Masroud, right? Their personal experience, the worldview, how they see it. I really appreciate diversity here because, let's say a lot of solution, I might say it's come from a Burma, right? But now if I speak with the other brothers who from the Egypt or from the east to the north, right? So I get to see and it helped me a lot on solution basis. And I'm learning a lot about like 3D printers, right? I mean, I kind of watched some video, but never has a hands-on experience. So, Thought have very patiently explained to me every little part, this and that, even it's not needed, right? I mean, learning a lot from Apisaki's, the Thotix, he's been amazing leaders. And we are constantly very curious to each other projects. We are more like, I would say, spider webs, and every string is connected to one of the others. So I learn a lot.
Your project, I see it as very multidisciplinary, looking at agriculture, biology, etc. What gravitated you towards those fields?
Because when you're in farms, agricultures in today time have shifted to touching soil rather than now is more of able to use the tools and technologies designing that we have. If I'm studying permaculture myself, if you are, how do I say, what gravitate me to this is because this is what humanity needs. This is what humanity needs. And many governments are using food as a weapon against their populations, right? And a lot of death, preventable death caused because of malnutritions, not able to get enough nutrients in the human beings. And then, basically food aid trucks are being stuck there. So agriculture is best way to empower, especially the refugees. And I see future there.
The humanitarian relief. Um, I'm trying to think of this. Thankfully, we can edit all this stuff. Humanitarian relief. What we're doing. Humanitarian relief is not new, but at Nushoor, we are unique in that we have a mentor with every team to provide guidance in the field. And then there's the feedback loop with a community member living in the area that we're developing for. So what makes what we're doing at Nushoor unique as opposed to other efforts that are going on?
What makes unique Nushoor is that we are creating very concrete a system where we could suck in many different talents. We're not only helping them, we're helping us. If we work in a high school, we could give them visions, purpose in life higher than what the world is telling them, like work for money. You know what I mean? I myself imagine being high school students studying somewhere else and no should come to me and telling me, you could be the change. And I would be like, how? Say, here are the projects. And like, if I can spend my weekends instead of gaming, being in Roblox or wasting my youth, I could be in like my projects are changing people's lives. It will basically have a tremendous effect on my grow ups and could make me a leader. And basically, I will live a purposeful life for humanities because in the end, if we don't support each other's, human beings are social creatures at the end, right? But what unique's about I don't see in other organizations is because other organizations do have they do a lot of tremendous work, but it's hard for youngster to come in and be part of it. And the show is built in the very concrete system where it can naturally fit in many talented, right? So it has ability to build bridge between the East and the West. That's what I think Nushoor is about.
If you were to describe Nushoor in 3 words, what would you say?
Basically, connecting the privileged populations with underdeserved populations, where we're telling the privileged populations about because blessings is responsibility. Having more money is responsibility. Status is responsibility. And a lot of our products, 99% of our products are made from the so-called these nations. And we as a human beings have a responsibility to uplift humanity for our own goods and for them.
I have a question. I'm trying to word it the right way. Interfacing with different communities, what's some of the feedback that you've received when you've spoken to them about the project that you're working on and the other work that's happening at Nushoor?
I would say, especially the college student, they were shocked. They were like, I speak with the one brothers. He's from Sudan right now. His countries. He grew up in Sudan actually. He was like, I was thinking of just graduate, work, earn money, and give it to humanitarian. I never thought my skill can help. So we get a lots of we get a lots of positive feedbacks from community where because parent now they see how their like especially parents now they see how their children can be uplift like can get into like STEM educations and all this. They feel responsible as a human beings. We all do. I'm a scientist. I'm an engineers. You know, and we all know like basically the old school way of helping humanitarian isn't how working, right? And lots of resources are being wasted. So everybody is thinking, keep thinking, how can we efficiently, effectively empower these populations in that situation? So when Nushoor come out with their solution, it was very shocking for them. And they were very curious.
Where do you see Nushoor in 5 years?
If we're going the way how we're going, we will be able to have impacts. We will be, we'll have a milestone with Sham. I believe we did.
And this might be a good or bad question. To viewers of this video, what would you like them to know about Nushoor?
I'll say learn about us more, be with us, be in our journey. You can be the change. You can be the change. You don't have to be part of us, but you could do something similar. And we are here to learn from each other. We're not here to teach you. We're here to learn from you. This is our message.
Any final words?
Do whatever we can. And human life is not cheap. It's a blessing. And basically, if we really want to live a life, purposeful life, we have to work. We have to be able to work for people. So that's my final message. And try to understand people, especially the refugee populations, where you may meet them in, especially probably in the Western world, many US, UK. Just understand they have a different psychologies. So they kind of, that's my message.
How did you hear about Nushoor and why did you join?
I got Nushoor from WhatsApp groups, of course. I mean, the WhatsApp groups, like, I'm not millennials, but I use WhatsApp. And then I joined Nushoor because I believe Nushoor can have a different approach, effective and efficient approach to solve the human problems that we're going through today.
Can you speak to how fast Nushoor has grown in the time that you've been here?
Yeah, of course, 100%. I joined Nushoor about a month and a half ago, and so far we are already triple because it used to be like 5 to 10 of us. And people who are actually working in the fields are not even 5, 6. I could even say Saki Bay, Tariqs, Masood, Hawas. Now, if we look, right now, I just started my projects like 2 weeks ago. I already have a team. I have a team of 5 people who are very, very dedicated and who are very, very sincere. And I believe we will be able to get the results probably given about 1 or 2 months.
Any question, Tiffany?
Why should people join the show?
Why should people join Nushoor?
Answer is simple. We are very efficient and effective, and we have a different approach for solving humanity problem. We have a future.
Mm-hmm.